Yo, still bills, what's the deal? Man, I just dropped my baby off at daycare, and I'm heading to the plantation. Y'all know how the story go, man. But peep game, man, we gotta address some shit, man. As we all know, it's a big fight coming up this week, man. Big fight coming up this week with Canelo Alvarez, and what a time! What better time than to throw shade on what it is that he's doing this weekend because he decided to go one way and not with y'all, man. The PBC continues to show signs of immaturity, man. Just Showtime boxing, whatever you want, whatever title y'all want to give them, man. It's just so fucking goofy, the shit that goes on over there, man. So now people are continuing to further perpetuate this narrative that Canelo is ducking certain fighters, man. Like he was offered $45 million for the Charlo fight, and then allegedly a 55 M's to fight Earl Spence. My thing is just, I've already been back and forth with the Charlo thing, man. Charlo, you can't duck, I don't want to say unaccomplished, but you can't duck fighters who have been, first off, you can't duck a fighter that you sent the offer to. That's first and foremost. Secondly, there's nothing there to duck. Charlo doesn't present any challenge that Canelo has yet to see. We really got to get out of that narrative that, oh man, he ducking, he running from slick black fighters. I'm seeing people say that slick black fighters like Jamal Charlo and but denigrate Danny Jacobs like that. I've seen people, oh, Danny Jacobs is flat-footed. Who are y'all watching? Charlo is slick, but Danny Jacobs is flat-footed. This is how you know. This is if there's never a prime example how people can warp reality to formulate a narrative, look no further than that. In what realm is Jamal Charlo presented as a fleet of foot fighter with impeccable footwork? Oh my damn. Where? When has Jamal Charlo ever been noted as a fleet-footed fighter? Like, people are just, I'm like, yo, this is wild. But the biggest takeaway from this is Earl Spence. The biggest takeaway from this whole thing is Earl Spence, man. How the fuck? I'm gonna just come out and say it, man. If Canelo was to fight Earl Spence, how was that any different from him fighting Amir Khan? The only difference is Amir Khan had the superior foot speed to keep him away from Canelo Alvarez for them, 6 rounds or however long that fight went. Spence isn't blessed with that foot speed. And the fact that y'all were even entertaining a fight with him as opposed to a fight with Crawford, somebody in your division that you were supposed to be wanting undisputed with, that's another glaring red flag on you motherfuckers. Another one. You dig what I'm saying? Like, how the fuck do we even, like, it's really getting ridiculous, man. And just the normal individuals have jumped on this narrative like flies to shit. How is this possible? Oh man, he ducking Earl Spence. Y'all ought to be happy he's not fighting Earl Spence. How is it that Earl Spence gets this pass, but Amir Khan didn't? No, Earl Spence has not yet been knocked out. He has not. Khan was knocked out at lower divisions. We had no doubt, yeah, he was going to sleep. The difference was, though, Khan had the foot speed to thwart Canelo Alvarez's onslaught for 6 rounds. And even that didn't last but 2 to 3 rounds before he started getting broken down. I really need y'all to understand the narrative of shit here and just how ridiculous this shit sounds. as you speak on it more and more and more and more. He's about to step up and fight Dimitri Bivol at light heavyweight, no rehydration clause. Y'all are the same niggas who got everything to say about him fighting Sergey Kovalev fresh off a turnaround, a war with Anthony Yarde with a rehydration clause. And y'all have a valid, a valid point with that. Y'all have a valid point for that. I've always expected, yeah, man, that's Oscar De La Hoya trying to protect the investment. Even though he's going up and challenging Sergey Kovalev at light heavyweight, is still certain obstacles in the way of a Sergey Kovalev to ensure that Canelo has about how do I want to say this? It's still obstacles and stumbling blocks in the way of Sergey Kovalev to prevent him. He will have to fight that much harder in order to deal with in order to beat a Canelo Alvarez. He would have to fight that much harder. So even though it's a challenge on behalf of Sergey Kovalev in front of Canelo Alvarez, everything is kind of favored in Canelo Alvarez because of all the bullshit that Kovalev had to go through in order to make that fight. I understand all that, but now when you have a dude that's like, no rehydration clauses, we just finna run that shit at 175 pounds for your belt. He's ducking Charlo and Andre and Benavidez in a fucking welterweight to go fight the more dangerous fighter out of the four. It's just past ridiculous, man, how you dudes just come with shit. It's just like, yo, y'all don't even think when y'all speak. Y'all don't even think when y'all speak. Y'all want Earl Spence to be the face of the sport. It's so bad. And he's just not that. Like I said, man, y'all are the same niggas just a year. What was it? Yeah, a year ago. A little over a year ago, last January. Y'all were saying, oh man, he the new face of boxing because he outdid Canelo's live gate because Canelo had a fucking month and a half to promote his fight with Callum Smith. And Earl Spence was fresh off for the fucking Danny Garcia fight. Like, just the narratives you dudes form is just past ridiculous. It's sickening. It's sickening. And the fact that y'all was willing to give him Canelo, feed him to Canelo before y'all even thought about formulating a fight with Bud that's even more sickening. That's even more sickening. Like, think about that, man. It's bad enough he has this, everybody is starting to point to the car crash. Because I've seen that narrative as well. Oh, man, they only getting this for, if Bud beats Spence is because of the car crash and all that shit. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. So now you have that obstacle. It's bad enough he has that obstacle. Now, if he was to go up and fight Canelo before he fought Bud, that's another way to denigrate the win over Bud that he would get over Spence. God damn, how do y'all like? This is so easy to map this shit out with y'all. And even then, you would think, all right, we're still trying to be in the Canelo business, so I ain't saying bow down to him and kiss his ass. Hell no, but y'all still have fighters over there that y'all want this man to fight, and y'all still have a company that y'all are still trying to save. There's still big fights for Canelo over there on that side of the street with David Benavidez, with Jermall Charlo. There's still big fights over there for him. But because y'all are mad that he chose to go to the DAZN side for legacy purposes, y'all want to see it's a sign of immaturity. Pause. Oh, I got back to beg again. Pause. All right, I'm back. I'm back, man. But like I said, it's a sign of immaturity, man. And what's even more ridiculous is the fighters that y'all are proclaiming that he's ducking are saying, he ain't ducking me. I wish I can transcend divisions like that, like he's doing. What he's doing is legacy defining. So how is it that the fighters that y'all are pulling for is saying the opposite of what it is that y'all are saying? Spence and Charlo are both saying this is not ducking. He's making history. I don't see nothing wrong with that. The very fighters y'all are pulling for saying that he's ducking these niggas, they're saying the opposite of what it is that y'all are saying. The path of least resistance goes through Bivol? Wow. The path of least resistance is through Bivol. Not the PBC side, through Bivol. Bivol fights in the same division that y'all said Canelo needed all the stipulations to be successful in when he fought Kovalev. And now he's going up there to fighting. No stipulations placed on him. He's going up there for that man's belt, and now it's still the path of least resistance. And another thing, I'm not mad at the Golovkin fight. I'm honestly not. I'm on record saying I would have rather him fought Charlo, Benavidez, and Andre this year. I really am. I'm on record with saying that because I still feel that way. I think he should have fought them first. So I think everybody is bypassing the Bivol fight. At least a lot of people. It's split, you know, because I'm seeing people saying, man, Bivol and shit, who the fuck is a Bivol? People are getting popularity confused with skill set and danger. Like Bivol isn't as dangerous as somebody else because they've never heard of him before. And what a coincidence that because there's no champions in the light heavyweight division that's from black American champions, of course you haven't heard of them. Just like y'all haven't heard of a lot of the champions down there in bantamweight and strawweight, the minimum weights, because we don't reign in those divisions. Y'all don't begin to pay attention until what, 126, where Stephen Fulton is at. And I have to do better with that because I don't really catch a lot of the minimum weight divisions. But I don't denigrate them neither. But anyways, I lost my train of thought. The bottom line is he's going up and he's fighting a bigger fighter in a fight in a division that y'all told him he needed all the stipulations to be successful in. And now he's going against the grain, y'all grain, because y'all just swear up and down he's still doing rematch or rehydration clauses and all that other fuck shit, and he's not. So now it's a problem. You know, and it's just really just of all times to sit there and denigrate somebody. It's like, yo, this is dumb. Honestly, Showtime, Steven Espinosa, Tom Brown, Al Heyman, y'all wouldn't be in this position if y'all would have just put on the fights that everybody wanted to see. There's no reason why we shouldn't have got a Jared Hurd versus Jermell Charlo. There's no reason why we shouldn't have got David Benavidez versus Caleb Plant. We can't even get Jermell Charlo versus fucking Landy Lara. You dig me? It's a multitude of big fights that was supposed to happen on the PBC side of the street that we never got. But y'all didn't have no problems giving us Crystal Ball Areola versus Andy Ruiz on pay-per-view. Mario Barrios versus goddamn Keith Thurman on pay-per-view. Tank Davis versus Mario Barrios, Leo Santa Cruz, and Isaac Cruz on pay-per-view. Charles Martin versus Luis Ortiz on pay-per-view. Who the fuck do y'all think y'all are? You dig? And then when the fight with when it's time for Charlo to go and step up in competition, and finally, all right, cool, he's getting the Jaime Munguia fight. I bet. We looking at it like, yo, that's a great fight right there. We're excited about that fight. That plan folds up and follows through, and y'all automatically go get Sulecki. Danny Jacobs, a free agent. He's already said, I'll come back down to 60 and fight Jamal. He's already said that. Y'all painted yourselves in the corner pretty much at this point in time. Y'all painted yourself in the corner because y'all feel y'all gotta build certain fights, and the fighters that y'all pull for, it's all social media and publicity stunts. So when y'all get when y'all get a proposition to fight and step up for a motherfucker, y'all don't want to do it. Oh man, we was just bullshitting. It's that smoky line. I was just bullshitting. Why didn't y'all go out y'all way to get goddamn Andre and Charlo a fight, man? That could have, if that fight was as close as everybody was expecting it to be, which I think it would have been close, that's a possible trilogy right there. But y'all don't think about shit like that because y'all want the big bucks in the now. Y'all want that shit in the now. Y'all want Charlo and y'all didn't even want Charlo and Andre. For what reason? That's a domestic rivalry right there. Y'all couldn't force Charlo to get that fight? No, you fighting Andre. You don't have a choice. This is a unification bout. Neither of them have been unified ever. And y'all will reject that because y'all think y'all just knew y'all was getting the Canelo fight. And now you left out in the cold looking stupid. Y'all have went out of y'all way to fuck y'all stock up. That's just being real about it. That's just being real about it. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Fuck y'all do this shit, man. So now you fast forward down the line and y'all are banking on Canelo. Y'all just know Canelo's gonna come and fight y'all. All the rumor mill, Jamal Charlo versus Canelo Alvarez, psych, I lied, nigga. Charlie Clips. Now we getting Canelo and Bivol, and y'all sitting there with your dicks in your hand, mad as a motherfucker. Y'all have nobody to blame but yourselves. The management over there, the matchmaking over there, y'all have nobody to blame but yourselves. But y'all don't even want to do that, so y'all will point the finger at Canelo Alvarez and tell him he's taking the path of least resistance. I get the Golovkin fight. I most definitely do. Why people, that's what I was saying earlier. A lot of people are bypassing the Bivol fight, saying, "Oh yeah, that's a threat for Canelo right there," and they're going straight to the Golovkin fight. They're looking at the fight with Golovkin and saying, "Ah man, like don't nobody want to see that shit again. He washed, he this and that and the third." You may have a point. I think Canelo was going to stop Golovkin. Golovkin has never fought at 168 pounds. But the thing is this: why is that fight great for Charlo or Andre, but it's terrible for Canelo? But y'all are claiming that he is ducking Charlo and Andre. It's the same thing with Billy Joe Saunders. Everybody's mad at Canelo for going and getting belts at 168 pounds. Who the fuck is a Billy Joe Saunders and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, y'all are mad at Billy Joe Saunders for popping dirty when it was time for him to fight Demetrius Andre. What are we doing here? It's easy to catch, it's easy to catch y'all niggas and, and contradict you niggas because it's like, yo, it's no truth in y'all. There's no truth in y'all. But the biggest takeaway is Canelo is ducking Earl Spence to go and taking the least path of resistance with Dimitri Bivol or even Golovkin. Y'all are saying that Spence can stand in front of Golovkin in the now. In the now, Spence can stand in front of Golovkin. And y'all are completely ignoring the fact that he started his career at 154 pounds and dropped down to welterweight. Think about that. He started his career at junior middleweight and came back down to welterweight. Came back down. We don't even know if his skill set would translate up to 154 pounds with the top dogs up there. Are you kidding me right now? But Canelo is ducking him. Think about how asinine that sounds, dog. Think about how asinine that sounds. Whew, you motherfuckers, man. Y'all are a trip. Y'all are legit comedians. You're comedians, bro. I'm not mad at people who have a gripe with Canelo Alvarez. I get it. I understand it. Even though I think a lot of that shit stems from Golden Boy. his golden boy days. It's going to take him to the end of his career to completely eradicate that stench that golden boy has left of him off of his resume and his name. He's never going to be able to, it's going to take him forever to get past that. He'd have to go undisputed at 175 pounds, and he'd have to face one of the three individuals that they're saying he's ducking. I get that, man. I get the shady scoring and all that. I get that. There's no way you're going to sit here and convince me that Oscar De La Hoya didn't, or Golden Boy in itself didn't have a hand in a lot of the shady shit that went on with Canelo. The scoring card with Floyd Mayweather, there's no way in hell Canelo went around with Floyd Mayweather. No way in hell. No way in hell. You dig me? There's no way. That was the biggest takeaway from this. So I get it. I get it. I get it. But it's just getting to a point where it's like, yo, bro, y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop. Even now, he's making amends by doing what he. I don't want him to come down to 168 pounds. I want to go and meet him up there. How is that not admirable? Anything, it's nitpicking. Oh, he ducking Charlo. He ducking slick black fighters. Oh, man, he ducking slick black fighters. And Charlo was being mentioned as a slick black fighter. Charlo, while Danny Jacobs is being denigrated as being flat-footed and all that shit. What fight are y'all watching? He's taking the path of least resistance with Bivol instead of fighting Earl Spence and Jermall Charlo. When Jermall has done, he's about to fight. He's fighting the leftovers of two fighters that one he said is we don't nobody give a fuck about, and two that he refuses to fight. Don't nobody care about Demetrius Andrade. He broke. And he still ain't said shit about Danny Jacobs. So them niggas ain't about shit, but their leftovers are. The dudes that they beat. He's the proper candidate. Can't get Erislandy Lara. No Carlos Adames. But we can get Sulecki. This is the guy that Canelo was ducking. Look at the amount of flack that Canelo was getting for fighting Bivol. And that's another thing, man. He fights as Europeans. All of them niggas fight as Europeans. David Benavidez is about to fight a dude that Golovkin destroyed years ago. Just think about this shit. This shit brazy right here. Andre's best win today is probably Liam Williams because of his mandatory status. Liam Williams got destroyed by Liam Smith twice. Who destroyed Liam Williams in drastic fashion? Canelo Alvarez. I just went back and looked at the highlights on that fight. Charlo's best win is Sergey Derevianchenko. Who gave Derevianchenko his first loss? Danny Jacobs. Who did Danny Jacobs get completely outclassed by? Canelo Alvarez. What the fuck are we doing? David Benavidez. He's about to fight fucking David Lemieux. Like I said, Gennady Golovkin destroyed this man years ago. Who's Gennady Golovkin's only loss to? Canelo Alvarez. How in the fuck is he ducking three fighters who some of their best wins are coming off of the backs of their best wins have lost to the scalps of Canelo Alvarez? How is that possible? I can't with you dudes. I can't. It's annoying, man. Y'all dudes, y'all niggas is a trip. And I just sit back and I just shake my head at y'all like, yo, y'all can't be this stupid. I'll be sure to do a breakdown tomorrow as it pertains to Canelo and Bivol, man. Y'all stress me even talking about this shit, man. I'm going to work. Ugh. Deuces.